So we're currently on an extended layover in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We only have a few hours here and we've just been dropped on the outside of the historic district. So we're about to explore and see what you can do on an extended layover here in Jeddah.
So we have just arrived in the Old Town. It was about a 40-minute Uber ride from the airport, which isn't too bad because we are like right on the other side of the city here. To leave the airport, you do need a transit visa or a visa on arrival, depending on how long you're staying. So because we've just got the 1 day, we've got the transit visa. There's only a small fee involved and you can normally do this through your airline. So we booked our flight through Saudi and therefore we could book our transit visa through them as well, which made the whole process so easy. The transit visa can last up to 96 hours, so if you do want to spend a few extra days in Saudi Arabia, that is a great option. Or otherwise there's the tourist visa on arrival, which you get on arrival.
So we're just heading into the centre of the Old Town now, and first impressions, everything's like this really cool creamy colour, and then they've got the wooden like windows and shutters on all the buildings. It looks really cool, so really excited to explore more and see what else the centre of Jeddah has to offer. We're just coming to the souks area, which is like the old market area. However, I don't believe it's open yet. It's currently about 9:15 and most of the shops are currently shut. So behind me is one of the most photographed buildings in the whole of Jeddah. So it's Nasif Merchant's House, and it's also a museum, so you can go inside. However, like most things currently, it is closed. So it might be open later, I'm not too sure. I'm not certain about the history of it, so if you do know a bit about the history, let me know down in the comment. But it's a really impressive building. It's got like the coral brickwork and like the brown wooden shutters. It's really impressive. And apparently a lot of the buildings around here are made from coral from the Red Sea. So the fishermen bought bricks of coral from the Red Sea to actually make the building. And it's clearly lasted a long time if it's dating back to the 7th century. So clearly coral is a very good way to build your houses.
The way to get around here seems to be these like golf buggies. Obviously they've got all the cars on the roads, but we have seen so many golf buggies just driving through town on the main roads as well as through the souks here. And like, I've never seen that anywhere else before. What a unique way to get around. If anyone knows like, if there's like a specific reason for it, please comment and let us know, because I'd love to know, because I think that's so cool. I have to say, I didn't really know what to expect before we came to Jeddah. It was kind of just like, our flight passes through there, let's stop, let's explore, which is amazing. I loved doing that. But like, look at this place. These buildings are absolutely stunning. We've got these beautiful wooden balconies on white buildings just throughout this old town, and it's absolutely stunning. So the balconies are either like a brown natural wood color, or they are painted like this beautiful seaweed kind of green color, and it's just, it's so beautiful. I did not expect this.
So all our plans have kind of gone out the window currently. All the shops seem to be showing. We're just wandering down some like narrow alleyways and exploring. So we don't really know what we're doing.
I think it's because our flight landed at 6:30 this morning, so we kind of like got ready and left the airport as soon as, and so it's still quite early, and I think people are still sleeping. So.
But I think it's definitely got a lot of potential to be absolutely incredible. Like there's a few little shops opening, and they look like they're selling like a wide variety of stuff, from like carpets and like little oils and scents.
You can already smell all of the different like spices in the air. It's just amazing.
Yeah, but for now we're just gonna wander and get lost and see what we find.
The whole of the Old Town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and parts of it date back to as early as the 7th century, which is crazy. A lot of it is under construction today, however, but that does show that they are maintaining it and keeping it in a good condition. Some of the buildings are quite old now. You can actually see some of them almost like tilting and like curving on the corners and edges and stuff, so they are quite old and have not really stood up to the test of time, but then they also date back to the 7th century. And there's not many buildings around in the world that date back that early. So, you know, you can kind of understand it, but they are doing a lot of work to keep this place beautiful, which I'm sure we all appreciate.
So one thing we have seen around that I definitely was not expecting is all these cat feeding stations. So there's cats absolutely everywhere around Jeddah. We've probably seen about almost 100 already. We've been here for like an hour. But they've got the little cat feeding stations to like keep them fed and keep them active. So we've just left the souks of the old town and had a little wander down to the waterfront. And one thing I didn't realise before coming here is the water behind me is actually part of the Red Sea. And the Red Sea is one of the best diving spots in the whole world. It's meant to be like thriving with a variety of like marine life, coral. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you are planning on doing a slightly longer layover here, you can, and you have like a PADI qualification, definitely check out some scuba diving because apparently it's meant to be like some of the best in the world. We'd love to do it. However, one, we are not scuba certified, and two, we only have about 4 hours left here. So, but the water is so calm, so peaceful, and there's a nice sea breeze, which is much needed because it's about 40 degrees today and we are melting.
We have just stopped on this little bench in this beautiful little garden area. Saudi Arabia is known to be a very dry desert kind of country, and Jeddah is no exception really. Like there's a lot of like dusty buildings and stuff. So it's quite rare to find a beautiful green park with actual luscious green grass. We don't have grass this green in the UK at the moment. Like, this is beautiful. We've got some, I was going to say we've got fountains, but we don't. There's sprinklers going over the grass, which I guess is what keeps it green, but that also kind of makes it look like a fountain, which is lovely. On the other side, we have the water. We've got a beautiful mosque over there. There's palm trees. There's such a nice breeze. Like Nat said earlier, it is very hot today, so we are grateful for any slight bit of breeze.
One thing we've also found is just behind us is one of the world's largest flagpoles. I believe it's about 172 meters tall and it's 2.5 kilometers away currently, and it still looks absolutely massive. The actual flag on it, the Saudi Arabia flag, is huge as well. So yeah, little extra thing you can come and see if you are visiting Jeddah. We had no idea it was here. So a lot more of the shops in the souk are starting to open now, and there's literally everything from like textile shop, gold, jewelry, herbs, spices, literally everything in between. There's like fresh meat, fresh veg, and it seems to be like a lot of the shops are like categorized. So like behind me are all the clothes shops, and then like all the meat shops and all like the jewelry shop and souvenir shops all together. So once you found one, there's normally like a whole area of places you can go into. And people are very friendly here apparently as well. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more lively now that the shops are beginning to open. So our last stop of the day is the Jeddah Corniche, which is like this huge waterfront area. Apparently it is one of the largest in the whole of the Middle East. I believe it's about 30 kilometers long, and you can see like lots of different things along it, like there's a floating mosque, there's the world's largest water fountain as well, which is quite cool. However, we're not going to explore a lot of that now because we're both feeling very hot, very dehydrated due to the heat. So we're just going to head back to the airport. But it's been a really fun time exploring Jeddah. I don't think it would be somewhere like near the top of our bucket list, or we would have visited for quite a few years. So layovers are a great way to explore places you like had no idea about or didn't think you would visit. So we definitely recommend, if you do have an extended layover, no matter where it is, but especially if it's Jeddah, leave the airport, get a transit visa and head out into the city because it is absolutely stunning here.